Later. Bye, boys.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
Hello, Sarah and Krista.
Hello.
Cheers to Girls' Night.
Girls' Night.
Yay.
Woohoo.
Thanks so much for joining me. This is going to be fun. I don't know. I need a girls' night after this week. After today, I was kind of in a mood, kind of in a funk. Like, Matt and I had a glorious time doing a little family vacation for the kids' birthday trip. We went to like a water park, little hotel, Great Wolf Lodge down in the Twin Cities. The kids loved it. We went to Katy Perry. That also was a lot of fun, right? Like about a lot of excitement. Mm-hmm. And then you come home and you have to unpack. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of work. And then you have to clean the house because you got to do the laundry with all of the, from all the shenanigans and all the things. And then you have to go to work and Matt has to go to work. And then it's just like right back into life with no break.
Life doesn't take a vacation.
So I needed a girls' night.
Yay.
So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, cheers again.
Cheers again.
Cheers again to wine.
We might need to do lots of cheers tonight. I don't know.
We're here for it.
Oh, well, thanks for being here at Midwest Married. I'm Amy, and you guys all know Sarah and Krista.
Hello.
Matt is not going to join us tonight because he is off taking care of the kids. And so we just thought it would be a lot of fun to get together.
I love it.
All right. So are you ready for the topic?
Ready.
I decided on?
Yes.
We are going to talk about girl code tonight. Some fun stories, some not so fun stories. We're going to try to keep it lighthearted though. I was thinking about okay, what angle should we take this? Should we be more serious? Because there's a lot of things that we have a lot of wisdom for, I think, as women. We could talk about birth stories, or we could talk about kids, parenting, so forth. But that's not fun.
No. Your episode last week was so fun. I'm here for a fun one.
We're gonna do fun.
We're gonna do fun.
Yes, we're gonna talk about girl code. So, girl code, for example, I of course went on our favorite Reddit, and there were a couple things being like, well, what is girl code? Tell me what the secret girl code is, right? And so here's a couple. Always warn the next girl if she's about to walk into a stall with no toilet paper. Furthermore, always provide TP under the stall door should a girl find herself in the unfortunate situation.
100%. Absolutely.
Yep. No question. That's like unspoken rule.
Yes.
All girls get it.
Yes.
Right? That's girl code.
I have
100%.
A secret power.
What's your secret power?
My secret power is before I pee in any bathroom I walk into, I make sure there's toilet paper.
And
you're
good about it.
I am always that person that will share the toilet paper because I am going to be in a stall that has it. It's my secret power.
It's a good secret power.
I don't know where it came from, but it's a good power.
Another girl code. Always tell a girl if she has smeared makeup, crazy hair, lipstick on her teeth, or what have you. Always warn your fellow girls if her skirt has gotten tucked into her underpants, a boob is about to make an appearance, or any other similar situation.
Have had all those things happen.
Yep. Girl code. Yeah. So any other girl code things come to mind?
I think warning a friend of yours or somebody that you may know if they are thinking about dating a guy, or this could go for anybody that you know is bad deal.
Yeah, that's girl
the
code.
warning. They'll be like, I know that this is fishy. Watch out for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So should we just go ahead and dive into a girl code situation?
Let's do it.
Because this, in a roundabout way, I picked this because a little bit it reminds me of a situation about Sarah.
Oh, this story or the girl
story.
code? Oh, okay.
The story. I also think a lot of people will relate to this because this kind of is an unspoken girl code, especially way back in the day when we were going to the bars, going to dance, all that kind of stuff. So the title is, hey, you said let's be wild, let's have fun.
I'm here for it.
So
Let
we're
me
doing
drink
it.
some more of my wine.
There you go. Okay. The title is Thanks to the Girl Who Saved Me from a Creep. A few weeks ago, I went out to have a few beers with my coworker after work. We decided to go to a bar that's only open until midnight since it's in a safe area of town and we only wanted to stay out for a little while. After about an hour, she got a text inviting her to go to trivia and asked if I wanted to join, since this meant she'd be leaving now and the bar we currently were at would be closed soon anyway. I declined, texted my boyfriend to ask him to come get me and bid my friend a good night. She left and I stepped out of the bar to sit on the very well-lit public bench outside to wait for my boyfriend. Not the best idea, but I'd only had 2 light beers and didn't really want to be in the way of the bartenders trying to close down for the night. I had my headphones on, but they weren't playing anything. I usually do this so I can still hear what's happening, but people are somewhat discouraged to come and talk to me. Not the case this time.
Uh-oh.
This man, obviously on something, walked jerkily up to me, sat down on the bench next to me, way too close, and smiled. Honestly, the creepiest smile I've seen in my life. And I wait tables. I love that.
I get that.
I like that little side detail. It gave me the chills. His lips just peeled back to show his teeth, pupils dilated and bloodshot eyes. He scooted a little closer. I'm pissing myself at this point. And began to tell me all about how he's trying to get home. His girl is going to be pissed that he's out so late, but hey, gotta be where you can get it, etc. During this, I was sitting on the edge of the bench, holding my backpack tightly against my knees and staring at my stark white knuckles, all but shitting my pants, praying that my boyfriend would just show up. Amanda! I looked up to see a woman a few years older than me, waving me over to where she stood, smoking a cigarette. I sheepishly got up and scuttled to her side, and where she hugged me as if she were my sister. Sorry, I didn't know your name or how else to get your attention, but it looked like you were kind of freaked out. I'm Kiara. The intoxicated man stayed on the bench for a few minutes as we talked, muttering in my direction, eye contact drilling a hole into the side of my head. He then got up and walked away as shakily as he had come down an alley on the other side of the square. Kiara stayed with me, making small talk until my boyfriend pulled up. As freaky as this whole encounter was, I can't express my gratitude for Kiara and her willingness to look a little strange and be so brave to help a total stranger sitting uncomfortably 20 feet away. I'm so immensely grateful for her bravery, even though nothing bad was noticeably happening. She was kind enough to step into a situation before it escalated, all because she saw I was alone. So thank you if you read this.
Aww.
That's a great story.
Isn't that like totally girl code?
Yes.
Right?
The sad thing is I think we've all been in that position before.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's been some sort of guy that's come up to us, is trying to put the moves on, and we have just no desire.
And they're not getting the signals, right? She had her headphones on. She was not engaging. He was, overlooking those boundaries that she was clearly laying down. And so, but the other girl noticed what she was laying down. And saw the whole thing and stood up and stepped up and made it, didn't make it obvious, right? Like pretended that she knew her. It's great.
I thought that was really great on her part to take that initiative.
Okay. So I liken this to back in the day, like when we're dancing.
Yes.
And I've heard that the young kids don't even dance in the clubs anymore. I don't know. I don't know.
What do they do?
I don't know.
Then?
They just stand and talk. I don't know. Let me know. But we're of the generation of we dance.
We dance.
We dance with strangers. We dance with friends. We dance the night away, right?
And, dirty dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but if there was ever somebody that you could tell that a girl didn't care for dancing with, it was your friend's job to swoop you away and start dancing with you so that other person couldn't dance with them. So that was also girl code.
Absolutely girl code.
Yep. And I've done that with strangers before. You can tell if another girl is uncomfortable.
Well, I think we kind of did that in our recent trip to Vegas last year when there was a guy at the bar, and it was a nice bar, the Chandelier Bar. I don't remember which hotel it was in, but remember that guy that was obsessed with Krista?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tony.
Oh, I didn't even remember his name, but obsessed with Krista. And nice enough guy. He was really harmless. Like this guy sounds like maybe in the story maybe wasn't so harmless or maybe could have been a bad situation, but like Tony was harmless. We were in a very safe place. We were, there was 4 girls, but obsessed with Krista. Absolutely obsessed. But we made sure that we were between him and Krista because he was a little too friendly. Even after he knew that we were happily married
with kids,
and Krista
we were upfront from the beginning. We were like, "Hey, dude, this isn't going to happen for you. Just so you know, you don't have to
anywhere.
Waste your money on us."
Yes.
But he just thought she was and is the most beautiful woman ever.
The cat's
Tony.
meow.
I forgot his name.
Tony.
You do got to step in though.
Yes. You got to make sure you're there for your girls.
Especially when there's alcohol involved, because not that I'm making any sort of excuse for men or anybody that's trying to like hit on another person, but sometimes that alcohol like drops inhibitions and they don't get those hints. So even if they are harmless, it can make other people really uncomfortable. So to have a girl that can step in and be like, hey, this is my girlfriend, or this is, we're going to see our boyfriends, or we're going over here to do this, that, or we're leaving, like I think is really important. And I think it's good to step in for other people too.
Like you did for a girl sitting on the side of the road. This is the story it made me think of.
I was wondering, like, what's the story you're thinking of? Okay.
Yeah. So you got to tell that story.
Well, we were out. I don't even remember where.
I was not with you. I've only heard the story.
Oh, you weren't with me?
Well, maybe I was like earlier on in the evening, but when you saved this individual who I now actually know very well and love.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was out at the bar. I guess I don't remember who I was with then at this point, and I was pretty tuned up. Like I was like walking down the street. We were walking to another bar. I was singing out loud, and all of a sudden I see this like person like hunched in the corner on the side of the road by like, well, you guys would know, but like there's like this like retaining wall, I guess is the best way to describe it, by Fitkers. And she was like scrunched down, like bent over, and I was like, I'm going to go see what's going on. And yeah, it was this girl. And I was like, what's wrong? And she was crying. And apparently she had a fight with her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend because she was kind of seeing this new guy. And so I was like, well, we're going to save you. And so we had a phone. She didn't have a phone. We helped her call this new guy, I think is who came to pick her up.
A new boyfriend.
The new boyfriend. The boyfriend that she's now married to. That's friends with you guys.
Yep.
And so like it was
like
years,
one of Matt's best friends.
Yeah. It was like years later and we were at their house and we were just like drinking and have a good time. And she came up to me and she was like, I think you saved me one night. And I was like, huh?
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like, yeah. I didn't even remember. That's the best part. And so yeah.
There you go.
I saved her.
Girl code. You got to be there for the girls, right?
Girl code. Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's a phenomenon that I want to abolish, basically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thought process that girls amongst each other are only competitors with each other and don't embrace each other and don't encourage each other and whatnot. I looked it up because I was really curious. Like, is there a theory or a name for this phenomenon?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the queen bee phenomenon. Have you heard of this?
I have
not
the
heard of
concept,
it.
but I didn't know it was called that.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently they've named it.
Okay.
The queen bee phenomenon, referring to a behavior pattern where some women in positions of power, particularly in male-dominated environments, where they distance themselves from other women and may undermine female colleagues to maintain their status or align with male authority figures. It's that thought process where it's competition over community, that kind of thing, where I think, and I wonder, and actually in my research of this phenomenon, you know how I love the research, they talk about how it's actually a result of being in a sexist environment and not really the result of like the fault of women in general. It's just women coping with and reacting to a world that doesn't support that community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to abolish that. I want to be done with that. And I want to make sure that us women are supporting women in general. I've got my rose-colored glasses on. Sarah has had some experiences in the past where
That wasn't the case.
Where it wasn't totally the case. Maybe it was more of this queen bee phenomenon where they felt like they had something to prove or whatnot. But I think that the majority of the time, we as women are out here to support each other, and we need to be down with the queen bees.
I think so too. Like the situation you're alluding to, like I was so excited to work with these other women. It was the first time I was working in a leadership team with other women. And I thought we could continue to have these like meaningful conversations where we maybe didn't always agree on the same thing. And it was okay to have these open and honest conversations and push back. And that wasn't the case. And yeah, it was really, really sad and really eye-opening and hit me really, really hard for a long time. But
right, because you expected to be lifted up and mentored by these fellow women who that wasn't. They broke the girl code.
Oh, for sure.
They broke the girl code.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
So a 2015 study in the Leadership Quarterly found that women who faced gender discrimination early in their careers were more likely to exhibit queen bee behavior later, especially if they perceived their gender identity as a barrier to success. So those women who you were alluding to, they also were of an older generation. I just want to point that out. So I have hope. Here's the rose-colored glasses.
Put them on.
I'm putting them on, okay, that we are all just going to, especially in our generation and younger generations, we're going to be down with the queen bee phenomenon. We're going to support each other in bringing everybody up.
I hope so.
Keeping people down.
Well, because they mentioned in here, though, how like the reason they did it is because it happened to them. And then they felt like they needed to do it to further themselves. And so like, how do we break that cycle? Like, I feel like I would never do that. I really hope I would never do that. But maybe these women would have felt the same way 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Have you felt that a little bit?
Have I experienced that phenomenon? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's another one of those things that just because it happened to you doesn't mean it has to continue.
And I think also, what spurred like my little like feisty reaction to this was actually one of the husbands being just like calling women catty, just in general, just saying the blanket statement of all women do are tear each other down. They, aren't there for the community and the support of each other, blah, blah, blah. I think they didn't really, he probably just said women are catty. And I probably switched to little flippant and was like,
you fill in all that extra space.
Yes. That's not actually true. And you can't perpetuate that idea. So anyway, that would be majorly breaking the girl code.
Shoot and score.
I do have to go put the kids to bed, but I chimed in on that conversation. I'm interrupting. I'm sorry. I'll let you go back to it.
No, I was kind of done. I was going to move on. That's why I paused and looked at you.
That I was the one that said it.
Okay, so
Matt.
it was my husband who said it.
It was Matt.
Come on over, Matt.
Come on over, Matt. Oof.
In the process of putting the kids to bed.
Come on.
You got to get in the video.
Snuggle in.
You can see it, especially in the business world, that other women don't like to see other women succeed. And there's a lot of jealousy in that aspect. And the reason why that conversation got brought up between us was Caitlin Clark's rookie year. You had all of these other women in the WNBA and people that had set records in the WNBA that were tearing her down and that, your record doesn't count.
That disappointed
She's not as great. She's
never going to do good in the WNBA.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. They didn't like seeing her do great. So that's where that comment had originated from. So thoughts on that ladies?
Actually, I remember you saying that. That wasn't the situation I thought of, though. I think it actually was your husband.
My husband? Uh-oh.
Good night, ladies.
Yeah.
Get away.
Okay.
Women's night.
Well, just kind of points out it's a commonly held
but I've said it before.
stereotype.
And I think sometimes it's what I've noticed at work sometimes with women in that they can be catty.
We're going to break the cycle.
Catty. And so I think not only men are guilty of it, but sometimes women are guilty of it too and stereotyping other women about it as well.
Right.
So yeah, how do we break it?
Yeah.
Shame on me for calling them catty, but they kind of were being catty.
Well, maybe just understanding a little bit of where that comes from so that we can just correct it. Anyway.
We'll try to help them correct it.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's why I bring it up is because our next story is about breaking the girl code. That was my kind of example of,
maintaining.
Yeah, don't breaking the girl code.
Okay.
So the question is, what is the biggest crime against girl code that another woman has committed against you?
I can think of yours.
Amanda. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I love that we both know it.
Amanda. She broke girl code.
Big time.
Hardcore.
Hard. Okay.
To the story. All right. I had a female friend who thought she was the center of attention when we hung out together. Her name is
Sorry,
Amanda.
you didn't know Amanda.
Just kidding.
Maybe for the better.
And usually she was right. She's tall with a killer body and a pretty face, and guys are just drawn to her. Anyway, once we went to some semi-formal event in our industry together. As usual, guys mobbed her, trying to get her attention, except one guy who was downright gorgeous. Like, what in the actual fuck? Everyone was checking out this dude, including the potted plants.
Oh, she's funny.
I love it. At some point, this guy and I ended up at the bar ordering drinks. I grabbed mine and headed to a table in a corner, took out a paperback and started reading. A few minutes later, he came over to my table and asked if he could sit. I said, sure. I went back to reading.
I love her so much. I wonder if she was reading fairy smut.
I know.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Okay. So he asked me about the book and why I brought it with me. I responded that events with lots of people were draining, and I could only schmooze and do small talk for so long before I wanted to crawl under a table and hide. And he was like, let's do it. And I was like, what?
Okay.
Let's find a table to hide under. I mean, this could be one of the books that I read, you guys.
Seriously.
Like, they should take this whole love story, and I don't even know.
We should run with it.
I love it.
Maybe we should write a book.
There we go. Here's the beginning.
Mhm.
Okay. So he says, let's find a table to hide under. I laughed, but he stood me up, took my hand, and we found an unused banquet table in another part of the venue that had a tablecloth that went to the floor. He grabbed some tablecloths from other tables so that we could sit, lay down on, and we literally laid under the table and talked for like 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Occasionally, he would leave to get us beverages and food. One of the best and weirdest things that has ever happened to me.
Oh,
I love it.
That's
I love it so much.
Cute.
At one point, I read to him by cell phone light, and he complimented my voice. The conversation was easy and natural, in part because I had no designs on this guy. He eventually asked for my number, which I put in his phone. My friend texted looking for me, and he walked me back to the main room. He gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, thanks for a great date, and he was looking forward to our next one.
Oh.
My friend immediately started asking all these questions. She seemed a little put out that I had spoken with this guy and that he seemed into me. I played it off and said we were just bored and just chit-chatting over nothing important. But inside, I was secretly jumping up and down and hoping this could be the start of something new. Fast forward to a week later, and this guy takes me out. Perfect gentleman. Conversation flows again. We make each other laugh, etc. We take a walk after dinner, and as I'm telling him something, he stops me, turns me towards him, and says he couldn't wait till the end of the night to kiss me and gives me the best kisses I've ever had.
Oh.
We end up making out like a couple of teenagers, and I float home. My friend asks me for deets, and I tell her some of the things, but not everything. Now, she says, wow, imagine telling your kids the story of how you two met. I laughed and said, it's too soon to even think about that, but I guess you never know. Fast forward like 2 weeks, and I don't really hear from this guy.
Oh.
He does a fade, and I'm not one to chase, so I let him go. I'm a little sad, but figure I have the memory of like 2 times that we hung out. Fast forward like 6 months, and my friend and I are at another industry event. I happen to see the guy and wave to him from across the room. His face is stony, and he dismissively waves back. It's like he's annoyed.
Oh.
I point this out to my friend, and she just shrugs. Like I said, I'm not one to chase, but the way the guy looked at me reignited my curiosity as to why he stopped talking to me. I eventually approach him and ask to chat privately, which he reluctantly agrees to. I ask him if I've done something to offend him. He stares at me for like a minute and then tells me he didn't appreciate how I went around telling people that we were basically engaged after one date. I was confused and asked what he was talking about. He looked at me strangely and said he'd gotten phone calls a day or so after our last date from a few people stating that I had been blabbing about him and had basically named our future kids and picked out a wedding date. I was stunned and again asked what he was talking about. Now he's looking confused and repeats everything he was told. When I asked, where did these people hear this from? He was like, well, your best friend told them and I called her and she confirmed.
Oh,
Ooh, that's bad.
First off, my friend was far from my best friend.
Clearly.
Amanda.
We'll get back to yeah. But apparently, after I told her about the date, she lied and told people that I told her I was in love with this guy and couldn't wait to have kids with him, that I saw us married, etc. He said he had really liked me, but when he heard what I was supposedly saying, it freaked him out. I was breathing hard and seeing red. I couldn't believe my friend had flat out lied. I asked him if he went out with her, and he sheepishly said she suggested meeting up for a drink to talk, and one thing led to another. And I was like,
oh, no.
It didn't dawn on you to question her motives or to ask me if I truly said those things? And he responded that he hadn't considered it. It didn't occur to him that my best friend would make something like that up. He showed me some of their texts where my friend apologized on my behalf and said that someone like me just doesn't know how to handle someone like him, and joked that he may need to take out a restraining order given how I was already talking about our future.
It's terrible.
That is terrible.
There was more she said, and I was almost in tears. Our industry is a small one, and any whiff of impropriety or crazy behavior can deep six your career. I had noticed that some people had treated me a little differently in the past few months, but had chalked it up to my tendency to overthink things. And now I know why. I dragged this guy by the wrist to confront my friend. Long story short, I pulled her outside and in front of him asked her if she had said the thing she said. She got all defensive until I told her that he showed me their texts, and I made sure to show him my text from that time period in response to the comments she lied about me making. They clearly showed that she made those statements under the guise of teasing me, and each time and every time I was like, stop, LOL, you're crazy. It's way too soon to even think that. We haven't even gone on a second date. She hemmed and hawed and just gave me a long-winded word salad of an explanation. I simply stared at her and didn't say another word. Well, actually, that's not true. Before I walked away from them both, I said I hoped he wore protection the night they hooked up because if I remembered correctly, she had caught chlamydia from an engaged client of hers and had been getting treatment. The look on both of their faces gave me one of the best non-sexual orgasms of my life.
I want to be friends with her.
And then she ends up by saying, fiend. The end.
I love it. Oof.
So that I was like, that's the ultimate girl code betrayal.
Yes.
All right, Krista.
It's terrible.
What do you think?
I don't even know. You don't come back from that for sure. Like that's awful.
Friendship done.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a girl do that to you or try to like take, okay.
Not like that.
No.
I mean, oh my gosh. I feel like that's really bad.
Amy kind of
Hit the
did.
curb. I know, kind of.
You did. You did. It was.
Amanda.
So
All right, well, let's hear. Let's hear
you
it.
want to tell the story?
Well, I feel like it's probably going to be a joint effort.
Okay.
So all's well that ends well. Perhaps it was for the best. However,
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Right. Hindsight being 2020.
Hindsight.
However, in our mid-20s era,
We would have been
early
younger.
20s?
We would have been early 20s.
Early
Because we would have been in
20s?
college still.
maybe, 21.
Probably 21, 22. Probably 21.
Probably 21.
Newly to the bar,
yes.
probably.
So Matt and I were in our little toxic, rough period of time. And I was trying to put my foot down and say, enough is enough. You got to hit the curb.
Mhm.
Got to pack your bags, get out of here because we are not jiving, right? And there had been a different guy who had shown me a little bit of attention.
And he was gorgeous.
And he was very cute.
Very attractive. I don't
Yes.
remember who he was or how you
I
knew
think
him.
I think his name was Lee.
Wasn't he a brother of somebody? Like how did you know him?
I think he was like a friend of a friend through my sister's friends or something obscure.
Yes.
Something obscure.
Yes.
So he was very
Yes.
cute. He was very
Yes.
nice. Meanwhile,
Get
Matt,
out of here. It's girls' night.
Matt,
Shoo.
he already knows the story.
Yeah, I know. It was me.
Oh,
Lee.
okay.
But I think
Matt's
it
like,
was.
I know his name. I'll tell
Wasn't it?
Anyway, he was very nice, very sweet. He took me on a very creative first date when
Mhm.
Matt and I had
Mhm.
broken up,
Mhm.
where he took me to movies in the park or Leif Erikson Park or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But he made me a homemade pecan pie.
Yes.
I don't know if I said it was my favorite or he was just good at making pecan pie, but I do like pecan pies. And it was the effort that went
Mhm.
into this. It was
thoughtfulness,
very sweet,
planning.
very cute.
That is
right?
sweet.
Okay, so anyway, Amanda is a girl who kind of seemed a little bit like this one.
Right.
She was very much done up all of the time.
Right.
She was nice when she were
Yeah.
one-on-one.
Yeah, she was more my friend. So it was
Yeah.
somebody that was in all of my college classes with me. And we were always lab partners, or we would take notes together and share notes. And one-on-one was very kind and very normal and you could hang out with. But the second you really got around other people, and especially boys, completely different person.
Mhm.
Completely different person.
Very much
Look at me. I'm the best.
center of attention.
Center of attention. Which,
Sort of a deal.
coming from somebody who also likes to be the center of attention, it was over the top.
It was a little over the top. So I was like, okay, guys, girl code.
Mm-hmm.
I had a date with this boy who's not Matt, because Matt and I broke up, and he was really sweet and he was really nice. And you cannot tell Matt because, of course, at this point in time, we've got mutual
Right.
friends galore.
Mhm.
Matt was trying to win me back. I just didn't want to have it at any point in time, at that moment in time. And turns out Amanda, despite me explicitly being you cannot tell Matt, what's the first thing she does?
Go run her mouth.
Yes.
Ran
exactly.
her. I think it was her 21st birthday.
Oh, yes.
I think that's what it was. Because
Yeah.
I think it was on the bus. And I think that's why we were
I
all
don't know.
together and why he was there and everybody was there.
Yep.
Yeah. Ran her mouth.
So then it just caused lots and lots of drama. And it was,
Mhm.
she broke girl code, told Matt. I don't know.
Yep.
Here we are married. So what does
worked
it
out.
even,
Yeah,
whatever.
but she still had to go.
But yes.
So, Krista, have you had anybody break girl code for you? Do you feel like there's anybody that's been ooh, they have done me dirty?
I've been fairly fortunate.
Mm.
In
So I
that
feel like you
regard.
surround yourself with many wonderful
That's right.
Yeah.
Look at you guys
Yeah.
are my friends.
Yeah. That's good.
That
I
is good.
mean,
That's really good. I feel like it can be really betraying. And feel really betraying. So I'm glad that that's never
Yeah.
happened.
yeah, I can't really think of anybody that I was close to that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
did it in that way.
Yeah. I had a high school friend who was one of my best friends who then started kind of dating a guy behind my back. That was somebody I had tried to be dating or had
Yeah.
dated. And
That's another girl code that
Yeah.
I ran across quite
Yeah.
often. You don't date people who your best friend dated.
Yeah.
Especially without
Right.
their permission
Right.
and blessing.
right. And
Right.
talking it through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go for that. Well, bonus to the story was it turned
Mm.
out that she did give him chlamydia. Somehow she found that out. So, whoops.
is that not
Karma's kind of strong. there.
karma?
Karma.
Mhm.
Strong karma. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love an update to this update to
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
well, when the truth came out, I mean,
Like,
you
did
had
he
such
feel
a
bad?
Right.
Did you
have-
want to go
right.
back?
Did you want to give it another try, or was it just lost?
Which is kind of, that's sad. I
It
feel
is
like
sad.
I was hopeful that they were going
I
to give it
know.
another try.
I thought it was the cutest beginning to a love
know.
story that you've ever heard of.
Storybook.
I
Yeah.
know. Him
Mm.
embracing her for who she is.
Right.
You want to go
Make her more
Read a
comfortable.
book.
escape underneath the
Yes.
table? Let's go escape underneath the table. I love
really
it.
nice.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I think we should move on.
Let's move on.
What's next? What you got?
Ooh. I like the am I the asshole ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because then
You
we
get-
can
you get a
really
sneak
give our
peek.
opinion.
You get a sneak peek.
Oh, I can't. Well, I try really hard not to read it, but I have a really hard time because I'm noisy. I'm nosy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to take a pause.
Okay. Oh, more wine. Next story.
All right.
Cheers to girls' night. Should we cheers one more time?
We need more cheers.
We need more cheers. Bring it on.
Okay, so this one is going in a little bit of a different direction where someone's really trying to be like for the girls and girl code, but that other person is not making it easy.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for leaving a woman stranded after she insulted me while I was trying to help her? And being from the Midwest, I feel like we're going to be able to really relate to this story. So we've got some background knowledge here. Okay, just throwing that out here. Ready? So it starts out. So this morning was freezing, like 12 degrees with brutal wind chill.
That's freezing.
But we know what that's like.
It's Tuesday
right?
in Duluth.
It is.
Just kidding.
I was heading to work when I noticed a woman standing next to her car with its hood up in the grocery store parking lot. She was waving her arms at passing cars, clearly in distress. Now, I'm not a car expert, but I know how to jump a battery, so I figured I'd stop and help her out. As note, I am a woman as well. Do you guys know how to jump a battery?
Absolutely not.
What?
No, I think I could. Maybe. I feel like I could YouTube it.
Krista, I
have
feel
a
like you
general
would know.
idea.
I've done it.
Yeah, I've done it multiple times because when I was younger, I'd for sure leave my dome light on or the.
Well, don't you just like red to red, black to black, and you start the car? Nope.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Like that's right? Yeah. See, I feel like I could do it.
See, there you go.
I feel like I
You
could do it.
Yes.
You could do it. I always get
positive
a little.
to positive.
I always get a little
Negative to
nervous.
negative.
Well, right.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying like I think I could
Because
do
it sparks
it.
when you like attach
it's not my
it.
favorite thing to do, but
Yeah.
I have done it.
Yes.
I feel like I would call you. I'd be
has-
like,
okay,
Krista's
good.
got to know how to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
The cars have like advanced in time to like literally it's almost impossible for my battery to
Mhm.
like go dead because of just like all the fail safes that they
Mhm.
have on it.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's just not as common of a thing,
Mm-mm.
but I could do it. And it sounds like you could do
I feel
it
like
too.
I could do it.
All right.
But I've
So
never
anyway.
done it.
Anyway, well, back to the story. I digress.
Sorry.
I pulled over, rolled down my window, and asked if she needed a jump. She immediately came over to my car and started going off, saying, "Finally, what took you so long? Are you blind? I've been stuck out here forever."
What?
I didn't let her attitude bother me and grabbed my jumper cables. As I was hooking them up, she barely acknowledged me and just stood there, scrolling on her phone. I told her to try starting the car, but it didn't work right away. I explained that sometimes the battery needs a few minutes to charge, and she totally flipped out. She goes, "Are you even doing this right? What's the point of stopping if you're just wasting my time?"
That's bold.
I tried to stay calm and suggested she be patient, but she then looked at my car, which admittedly is not that nice looking, and asked, figures, you drive a piece of junk and you're trying to help me. I should have waited for someone who actually knows what they're doing, like a man.
Oh, no.
Um,
At that point,
Later.
I was done. I unhooked the cables, packed everything up, and started walking back to my car. She shouted, "Where are you going? You can't just leave me here." I turned around and said, "Watch me," and got in my car to drive off. As I left, she threw her coffee cup at my car and cursed me out. So am I the asshole for walking away and leaving her stranded? I feel like I was just trying to help, but her attitude was completely uncalled for. Plus, it admittedly is unsafe for a woman to be stuck somewhere with car troubles. My friend said I should have helped her because of girl code, but I think she broke girl code first.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Am
she's
I
at a
the-
grocery store. She can go in the fucking grocery store. Like, go in the store. You're fine. You're not going to die.
and you don't get to be mean.
No.
We're just talking about that. You don't get to be mean and put this other woman down and then still expect her to help you. No. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole?
Not the asshole. I don't even think that needs somebody to say, not the asshole. I mean, is anybody saying she was an asshole? Because I can't imagine. I guess she said her friends did.
Well, the top comment was, "You stayed far too long."
I agreed.
For sure.
I would have driven off the moment she opened her mouth to say, "Finally." You are clearly not the asshole in this
no way.
situation.
No.
Yes. Another person replies, not the asshole. Girl code says that if someone is helping you, you act reasonably thankful. You also behave like other people have feelings because we're all in this together.
Exactly.
Community, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could learn something
Yes.
along the
Mhm.
way.
There
Pay
you go.
attention.
Or
Mm-hmm.
make a friend. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she had a phone. Call if you didn't like the way somebody was helping you, call somebody else. She was not stranded. No.
The whole like, finally, where have you been?
Like she knew
To
she
a
was
stranger.
was crazy.
Too much.
Where have you been all my life? Well, I am stranded at a grocery store.
This is also like a reminder.
Yeah.
We need to teach our girls how to do these things
Yes.
so that they can do it for themselves.
I have another story. Do you know what story I'm going to tell?
No.
When Nikki and I were trying to come and save you from Matt. Do you remember this story? Sorry, I feel like a lot of our stories from in college and
When we were
growing up
kids.
was like when. So apparently, you and Matt were somewhere, like in a car, like arguing. I don't know where you guys were, but you were somewhere, and you were texting. This was when texting was very new. Nikki and I. And you were like, he's so mad at me. Maybe it was about the Lee and the Amanda thing. I don't know. I feel like it was the same time frame.
Okay. I
And
don't remember this.
We were like, we're going to go and save Amy.
Oh, boy.
And so we were in Nikki's car and we were driving down Central Entrance, and all of a sudden it started making really, really bad noises. And we pulled over and she had a flat tire.
Oh, no.
And neither of us knew how to fucking change a flat tire.
Well, you gotta learn
But
that
we were
skill.
going to figure it out. And so
I
we
can teach you.
found the jack and we were trying to figure out how to jack the car up. And then all of a sudden somebody pulled up behind us and we were like uber freaked out, right? And it was like a tow truck pulled up behind us and he's like, well, I can't technically help you guys, but I just wanted to like make sure, because it's a very busy road, like no shoulder, but I wanted to make sure you guys didn't get hit. So I'm just going to park here and shine my lights for you guys to see. And we were like, great.
That's nice.
As we continued to struggle and couldn't get the lug nuts off of the tire. So
we
after
probably
about,
like both like 100 pounds soaking wet, like
Yeah.
jumping on
well,
this
it's
like tire iron.
Exactly what we were doing. So then he finally came back out and he was like, yeah, I couldn't watch you anymore. And he changed the tire for us. And by then everything was fine with you and Matt and all was good. And we
That's
just went
nice.
back home and drank wine.
So
But
it's probably just the universe being like,
I don't know how to change a tire either.
Amy doesn't need saving.
Well, you come over someday.
we
and
need
we'll-
to teach
we'll-
Sarah some stuff, apparently.
We can have a little demo.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Teach
you.
June and
Girl
Cleo
code.
I
and
know.
Sylvie.
Lots of
and
change. Yeah, we really
Elise.
should.
So
We really should.
I felt very proud of myself the other day. I was in the cities visiting Nikki, actually.
funny.
And about to drive home with the kiddos, and I got a flat tire and pulled off.
Oh.
And I didn't have a great tire iron, you know. It was like one of those, you know, the fold-up-y kind.
The ones that like come with the
which
car.
is and so I called her husband and Nikki, but she was home with the baby. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, can you come just help me out with this tire? I think I've got it, but you know, especially sometimes they're on really stuck.
Tight.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So Brian comes and I mean, you could tell that like it's been a little while since he's changed a tire. So I was like, well, you know, before jacking it up, you really should loosen those lug nuts first, because if it's in the air, then the tire just spins. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, see, I
And so-
would never think. I'm like, huh?
So I was teaching him how to change a tire, but he had the muscle and he was really
I would
able
for
to do
sure
it.
call you.
Yes, I would call you.
Okay, we
we're not
can
going to
get it
call
done.
Sarah.
Don't call me.
You'd be very good at moral support.
I'm moral support.
You'd call AAA.
I would.
Sarah would
I
send
got
someone.
you. I got
Yes.
you. I'll figure it out.
So, I
It just
mean-
ain't gonna be me.
Me and Brian had it, but it was definitely a team effort.
That's
His
funny.
muscle, my remembering of how to do things. Anyway,
But I also feel like flat tires don't happen as much as they used to either. I don't know if tires are better or what, but knock on
I
wood.
don't
Yeah.
know. I've had a flat tire in the last
I've never had. Well, besides
Mine
once,
was last year.
5 years, maybe.
I had a flat tire in college once where it was like flat. There was no fixing it. But most of the time, I've just had like air leaks, or I could just like pump it up and then get someplace.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's good.
Anyways, yep. Don't call me.
All right. Let's see. Are there any other good comments on this one? Everybody's just saying the same thing.
Yep.
Not the asshole. She broke girl code first. You stayed way too long. So, yep, that's A-okay. It was sweet that she was like thinking about it, being like, oh, geez.
Well, I think if you leave somebody standing out in the cold, that does feel kind of hard.
She was at a gas station.
She still
or a
made the right
grocery
choice.
store. She could have walked in the grocery store.
She wasn't
There you
truly
go.
standing.
She could have called AAA.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it sounded like many other vehicles were driving by. It's not like this woman was in the middle of nowhere.
Didn't seem like an unsafe situation totally.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, this one is a little different. I just picked it because it's a little spicy and a little fun. Okay. And it's kind of about girl code. I don't know, it kind of fits.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I've accidentally been sleeping with her fiancé?
Oh, just accidentally?
Okay, let's hear it.
Burner account because what the hell is my life right now?
Oh.
So, yeah, just
Well,
saying
at
this
least
is
seems a little remorseful.
anonymous
to
account.
start.
It starts, oh boy, that's a hell of a title. I'm aware. I don't really know how to start this, so I'll just get into it. I'll preface this by saying that I'm a 22 male and very, very gay. I was in high school when I met
I was not expecting that twist. Yeah, okay.
I was in high school when I met this friend, and she was the cool older girl the year above me. For all intents and purposes, we'll call her Sienna, 23 female. Now, after high school, I went to an out-of-state college while Sienna went to the local uni. We kind of lost touch other than the obligatory happy birthday and Merry Christmas texts. So you can imagine my surprise when I got a text from my mom a few months ago saying that a wedding invitation from Sienna had gotten delivered to my parents' house. Sure enough, a quick text to the lucky lady confirmed that she was getting married. Her longtime partner, Marcus, 25 male, had finally proposed. A summer wedding right in my hometown, right when I and some of our other friends would be back in town from uni. I was invited to one of the pre-wedding girls' nights because my life is that of the two-dimensional comic relief gay side character, I guess. And we got wasted. Like the kind of drunk where logic isn't even in the same dimension. So when the topic of other people in the hashtag Girl Squad's relationship came up, like the genius I was, I whipped out my phone to show them the hot guy I've been hooking up with as just a dumb summer fling.
Oh, no. ... Who
turned out to be Marcus.
No.
Oh, that's really sad.
That is sad.
Parentheses, kill me now to save me from the mortification.
He doesn't have anything to be mortified about.
Rightly
That's not his
so.
fault.
Rightly so, he writes. Sienna lost her shit. Fair. No criticism from me.
Fair.
But then she turned on me and started blaming me for, quote, ruining her wedding. For clarification, because I'm sure this will come up in the comments, no, the wedding invitation did not have photos on it. It was one of those minimalistic designs with over-the-top calligraphy, and that's it. Her socials only feature her. I had no way of knowing what he looked like.
Oh, no.
I don't personally think it was my fault here, but here's where I think I messed up. I very loudly, and to the entire club, drunkenly said, "It's not my fault your cheating fiancé likes to get his back blown out, Sienna."
Oh.
I feel
not super tasteful,
absolutely
maybe.
awful. I don't want to be the other woman. Well, technically guy, but you get it.
I love him.
And I certainly don't want to hurt a friend like that. I've tried apologizing 1,000 times, but she's not interested in talking to me, which I totally get. When confronted, he confessed to not only hooking up with me, but also 8 different guys over the course of their 4-year relationship. The wedding's been called off. Am I the asshole?
You might have actually saved her.
I say no and
Yeah.
dodged a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
He had no way of knowing. And he wasn't doing anything out of the wrong. He didn't know. Nope. Not the asshole.
I agree. Not the asshole. He didn't know.
Mm-mm. And thank God he showed her that picture.
Right?
Otherwise,
Yeah.
she would have married him. Yeah.
And think about the STDs in her future.
Well, and I don't care who you're cheating with. Like, cheating is cheating.
cheating is cheating.
Cheating is cheating. Not okay.
Yep.
You don't need that.
No.
Nope.
Dodged a bullet. She
Yep.
should be thanking him.
Do you think that she'll ever come around and thank him?
I hope so.
If they're
Mhm.
really friends, I mean, it sounds like maybe they aren't as close as they once were, but if they really are friends, hopefully she will eventually see that he kind of did her a favor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she's embarrassed. I'm sure
Oh my
she's
gosh,
hurt.
it's got to be mortifying, especially
Yeah.
you put all that work into your wedding and that
Mhm.
relationship and that
Mhm.
hope of the future and excitement. That's a really,
That'd be really hard.
really
Mhm.
hard thing.
And it could be an easy scapegoat to be mad at him right now.
The
In the
messenger
moment.
killing the messenger.
Yep, in the
Yep.
moment.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty natural reaction in that exact moment, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
not appropriate.
Yeah. Maybe he could have been a little kinder in his
Well,
response.
Yeah, there's that.
But, you know,
Tasteful.
But again, everybody was just drunk off their
Drunk.
asses.
Which, again, not
pre-wedding
an
celebrations,
excuse,
right? Yeah.
but it happens. I feel like you get like a little bit of like, you should have a little bit of leeway.
you're like able to maybe, yeah.
Not justify it, but at least be
You can
like,
apologize after if you
Right.
recognize, hey,
Right.
and he recognized I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't great.
that wasn't
Yeah.
great.
For sure.
How many
think
times
he's-
did he say in this post, like, I understand she was mad. I understand she was upset.
Yes.
I
Like,
understand,
and-
like,
yes.
I said the wrong
Yeah.
thing.
Admittedly, I could have handled that differently.
Yes.
Well, and he might have been a little bit hurt too because he was lied to as well.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
he thought
it's-
that this.
He didn't know this guy was about to get married.
Right.
He thought he was this really hot guy that he was having this great summer fling with.
Yeah.
Sounds great. We've all had those summer flings. Great.
So, to the comments.
Yes.
Top comment. Top comment, not the asshole, because how are you to know?
Mm-mm.
I do feel sorry for Sienna, though.
Mhm.
Another person responds better now than after the wedding.
Mhm.
100%.
Mhm.
In response to the part where he goes, when confronted, he confessed to not only hooking up with me, but also 8 different guys.
Yeah.
The comment was, yikes, you helped her dodge a bullet. That's for sure. She's just upset now, but I hope that someday she realizes it was all for the best. Not the asshole.
I think she will too. I think she'll come around.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
A lot of people they're just repeating what we were saying, you guys. I
Whoop,
love it when
whoop,
it's
whoop,
like,
whoop.
we got it right.
Oh, yeah.
You did her such a great friend service. And of course, your friend was so invested in the marriage that she's in shock and doesn't
Mhm.
realize how helpful you were, or else she's very superficial.
Well, I think it's such like a loss when you are planning this big future. I mean, she was planning the rest of her life and then now that's gone.
And then you have to start over.
Yeah. Oof. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You've done it.
I have.
Sorry, that was insensitive. I'm like, I think, oof, that'd be a lot.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. See, that's girl code being like, oh, wait,
That
sorry.
was a bad comment.
that wasn't super sensitive.
Nope. Sorry.
You've
I
been
love
there.
you.
Been there, done
Yeah.
that.
I made me
You're
think of
stronger.
my sister too. Like,
Yeah.
and how many times she has not had the luck you have had. Like, you've been so fortunate to find Matt and like
For sure.
have him.
Actually, he's been so fortunate
Well, of course,
to find
too.
Krista.
Well,
Of course. But my sister has not. She's dated a
She's
lot of
Interesting
questionable people.
people.
So that's where my brain went. Yeah. Hmm.
Anyway, another dude, 2 things. Number 1, not the asshole.
Mm-mm.
Number 2, get tested for STDs.
100%.
Like, yeah, that'd probably be a good thing.
And all of them.
All of them, everybody get tested. That'd be a good thing.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought that was an interesting one. I think that he stuck with the girls' code by
Mhm.
telling her
Mhm.
and didn't break any of the girls' code. And yeah, I would want to know.
Absolutely.
oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yep.
sure. Yeah, I think you always want to know. Which then makes me think a little bit about how does the girl code apply? So if you know that my partner
Mm-hmm.
is cheating,
Oh, God, I would tell you.
yeah, right?
100%.
Oh, yes.
100%.
And if one of us or some other person
Mm-hmm.
was dating before we were married, dating someone, and they didn't know they were married,
I would tell him.
but you knew that they were married, would you want to know?
Absolutely.
And then what would you do about it?
Well, I had a certain situation where I felt it was very much girl code, sort of within the past few years, so sort of recently. One of our girlfriends found out that her husband had cheated on her.
Oh.
Yes. And this was not, unfortunately, really the first time that this had happened. And she found out who it had been with. And she found out who that person's fiance was because the wonders of Facebook and the internet, you can see all these things, even though these people lived in a different state. So
it's like a work situation. Yep.
So somehow my friend's Facebook account was blocked from seeing her and her fiance. So we assume that this person they knew and they like intentionally blocked her. But she's like, I really feel called to inform her fiance that she cheated with my husband, right?
Yep.
And she's like, and I'm not able to do it. And I said, they don't know me. They don't know me. Listen, I will draft a letter that you feel is appropriate and I will loop you in because I know you want like limited information because, you know, you want to protect yourself and your family a little bit here too. But, you know, you see that this man is about to marry this other person and you want him to know what he's getting into, right? So I did. I wrote the letter. I got it approved by my friend. We sent it off. He did reply. He had no idea. He thanked us for letting us know or letting him know. And she did say that every now and then she's able to snoop and they must have made amends or whatever. And
wasn't it like a week or two later? It was like her birthday and she was like, he was raving. And so for a little while,
it was a weird situation where you were like wondering, did she have his account? What's actually the situation? But it was weird. But you know what? Ultimately, it's up to them to figure out if they want to move on with their relationship.
You have that knowledge and then you can do with it what feels right for you.
You do what you want, but just want to let you know this is what's been going on. So that was my girl code that I was involved in. And her husband was not happy with me. Not happy with me. Because I was like, of course. Yeah. She wanted me to. Of course I was going to do that. She's my friend.
Well,
of course.
Girl code for life.
Girl code.
Yes.
Yes. Don't go cheating on her.
Right.
I mean, there you go.
An easy solution to that.
Easy solution.
Yep.
Yeah. So other examples of girl code going back to that, because I kind of found it kind of fun.
Okay.
Here's an interesting one. It's our job to understand what our friends want when they are too intoxicated or too sick or too heartbroken to know for themselves. It's also girl code.
Yep. I feel like we do that
there.
A lot for each other.
You know, sometimes just like nonchalantly.
Krista more so for us.
I know. Hands me a glass of water.
Drives us home.
I know.
When she's pregnant.
I know.
And we're too trashed to even know how to get back to our Airbnb.
Doesn't happen too often.
No.
Yeah. But it has happened once.
Karaoke or twice. Maybe more. I don't know.
Oh, here's a good one. If your friend is going to be meeting up with her crush and you are with her, you can't upstage her. Meaning, put the stripper shoes away and button up your shirt.
Yep.
I kind of like that
I like that one too. What was the one that I read to you at work the other day? Like something about how your best friends are always right. I don't care what they did. They ran you over with a car. Well, what'd you do? Yeah. And I was like, yep.
That's probably true.
There you go. That's very much you and Matt, your relationship in our very young 20s. I'm probably still today, except he just treats me really well now.
Yeah. No, I feel like Matt and I get along well now. But yes, I think if he treated you wrong, it'd be
exactly
guns out.
Yes. If I drove Matt over with a car, would you say? Well, you'd probably say both. Amy, why'd you drive him over with a car? But then also, like, Matt, what'd you do to deserve it?
I would. And then I'd be like, what are we doing with the body?
It's never okay. Violence is not the answer. We're not saying drive anybody over with a car.
No. But I got you if you did. We'd call Krista too. She'd come and help.
Okay.
This is
You're
all
on
the
the short
evidence,
list.
right? This is gonna like put us away for life right here. If anything ever happens to poor Matt.
Oh, good thing he's destined to live a long, happy life.
For real, he's got 13 lives. We've already determined
I know.
He's already
I
on,
know.
like,
from one of the
9
other
now.
episodes
9
about
or
near-death
10.
experiences. Watch it. Listen to it. It's really good.
It is good.
I learned so many things.
Poor Matt. I know. I think it applies to everybody and not just girls. Like if you see something wrong with somebody's appearance and they can fix it in 30 seconds,
Yes.
you should tell them.
Absolutely.
If they can't fix it in 30 seconds, you keep your mouth shut.
Oh, I've never heard
And-
like the 30-second timeline, but I love that.
Yeah. Because like, so you like it
Like if
brings
you got a bad haircut, we're not going to fix that today.
right.
You pretend like you like it.
Right.
Mhm.
Or, like making comments about people's appearance and their body, right? Because
Mhm.
some people have asked, well, when is it okay to, you can't say anything anymore? Well, yeah.
Mhm.
There are things that you should not say out of the kindness of your human heart to another human being. And also, don't be mean, people.
Don't be mean.
But if it's something that they can fix in 30 seconds, hey, your mascara is a little smudge here. Let me
Mhm.
help you with that.
Mhm.
30 seconds. Tell them, hey,
Done.
you've got
Yes.
something in your teeth. Everybody wants to know that.
Yes. Because everyone's just
Yes,
fix it.
like,
Move
oh my
on.
goodness, let me fix
move
it.
on.
Yes, move
Yes.
it on. If they can fix it in 30 seconds, that's kind of like girl
I like
code.
that.
There are some
People
comments,
code.
but I think, yes, you could apply that to everybody. Here's another one. If you have a purse, you are expected to carry extra tampons and pads. If asked, you must lend a tampon or pad to any female that asks for one, even your worst enemy. I don't know how many times I've had to explain this to my boyfriend when he's caught a glimpse of a tampon in my purse. No, honey, I'm not on my period. I'm merely stocked up for the good of the be-pussied population. Here's someone who has created the commandments of the girl code.
Okay, let's hear it.
Ooh.
Okay. I haven't read these, so let's see. Let's see how this goes. Thou shalt always compliment the bitch and the insecure girl in the bathroom when drunk.
Absolutely.
Thou shalt not fucketh nor flirteth with thy friend's ex-boy or girlfriend.
Mhm.
Thou shalt not say, I'm so fat, if thou art not the largest person in the room. Probably just shouldn't say that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have better self-esteem than that.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Mhm.
Thou shalt not tag girlfriends when grossly intoxicated or looking less than handsome on social networks. That is important.
That
I
is
think.
important.
You know?
That is important.
Thou shalt not mention drunk dials, flashing, or vomiting. I mean, we sometimes laugh about it. Thou shalt, but only amongst like the close girlfriends.
Right,
you don't
right.
talk about
In
it in front of other
context,
people.
in
Right,
context.
Right,
yeah.
right.
A
Okay.
safe space.
Safe
Mhm,
space.
mhm.
Circle of trust.
Mhm.
Thou shalt always go to the toilets together
Well, absolutely.
and carry sanitary products just in case.
Mhm.
Thou shalt never leave a friend behind.
Nope.
Thou shalt gossip only when the subject is not attending.
Well, or just not gossip.
Neither cock nor pussy shalt thou block. Shalt thou block.
Oh.
And last but not least, thou shalt always notify thy fellow women of their appearance
Mm-hmm.
if they can fix it in 30 seconds or less.
I
Yes.
think that's a really good rule of thumb, the 30 seconds.
Yes.
I love that.
They end to say, I'm drinking out of a mug of wine. Let me know if I missed something. So funny.
I want to be her friend.
I know.
That sounds
so
fun.
funny. Okay. So those are some more of the girl codes.
I love girl code.
Mhm.
It's kind of fun.
It is fun.
We all just need to have each other's backs.
Absolutely.
Put on your rose-colored glasses. If we all do it, then it's done.
Mhm.
If you all just lift each other up and it's what is the whole saying? Like lighting somebody else's candle doesn't burn out your own or something
Yes.
like that. It just actually makes you look better
Mhm.
when you are able to lift up your fellow.
And both of you are so good at that.
Oh,
You're
you're
like,
good at
walk
that
through the
too.
airport. You're always like, oh, you have such a beautiful bag, or I love that dress on you, or that's a great color lipstick, or you always comment strangers.
Well, yeah, because it
I
makes them
love
feel
that.
good. I love, why, if you think something nice about somebody, why
Yes.
keep it to yourself?
And then they walk around the rest of their day feeling like, oh, that complete stranger gave me this nice compliment.
If somebody does it for me, I'm
It's
like
so
on cloud
it's so lovely.
9.
Yes.
And so I love doing that for other people. Men or women. I mean, but especially
But
the
mostly
women.
women, for
Especially
me,
the
because I
women.
feel like it's more safe. I don't
It
know.
is.
It's like
It is.
that
Yeah.
girl community.
because there's,
Mhm.
I think there's just less of that, like,
What are their
and
intentions?
there's like,
It's
no
like,
strings attached.
yeah.
Just like, just want to
Okay.
tell you, you have a rockin' blazer
Yeah.
on today, and I think it's great.
Love
Yeah.
your dress.
Yeah.
Love your
Perfect.
shoes.
Yeah.
I had
Where
a-
did you get that?
I had a patient today. She had on sandals, but they were like leopard print Birks almost, but
Ooh.
they were from Walmart. And I was like, I'm going to Walmart because I want your leopard shoes. And then I took them off of her so she could do her pap smear so I could put her legs in the stirrups. And I was like, I'm going to steal your shoes. What size are these? But I loved them.
There you go.
And I think she loved that I told her that I loved her shoes.
Well, yeah.
She probably felt more comfortable
Yeah.
during your pap smear.
During her pap smear in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, there you go.
yeah. Girl code.
Girl code.
Love it.
I do think it's like rare to have really, really, not maybe for a lot of people, but at least for me growing up, having 2 really, really close girlfriends
Yeah.
that I don't feel any competition. I want you to do great. I want you
Mhm.
to do great.
Mhm.
I want us
You know,
all to succeed.
We want you to do great.
Right. Like I feel no competition. I don't feel threatened. Like I know that like some of this earlier stories about like other women putting women down because they've been put down in the past. And like, I don't feel that towards you guys.
Yeah.
And we're just so lucky.
We are.
So lucky.
We are.
So find that for yourself.
Yes.
If you've got somebody who's not abiding to girl code, maybe they don't need to be the best friend.
You know,
Maybe they need to take a little backseat.
it's not worth your time. Like find people who uplift you,
Mm-hmm.
who don't put you down, who make you feel better,
Mhm.
not worse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a good message.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have that growing up. So it's really important.
I think there's sometimes a learning curve too
Mm-hmm.
that you need to work through. So maybe if you haven't found it yet, especially if you're younger,
Mm-hmm.
like
Still coming.
it's still coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
best female friendships are yet to come.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Last story.
Last
Okay,
story.
last story.
Okay. I hope it's good. I haven't actually read the whole thing, but the title intrigued me. So, and it's about someone named Sarah.
Uh-oh. Not me, Sarah.
Not you, Sarah.
Not me,
Different
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Unless you wrote it about me. I don't know. Okay, good.
I did not.
Woof.
I just share all your stories and be
I
like,
know.
hey, don't you remember this time? Let me call you out so the
That's
whole
okay.
world
That's
knows
okay.
your stories.
I have
Okay.
nothing to hide.
All right. Am I the asshole? Story time. Technically, I've broken girl code, but I acted on my morals. So, am I the asshole?
Question mark.
Question mark. A little bit of context. I'm a 21-year-old female and I have a boyfriend, 20 male, who I've known for about 3 years, though we've only dated for 1 year. So there's this girl, also 21 female, who we'll call Sarah. It says it right there.
It's
Even
even
with
spelled
an H.
right. It's even spelled
Sarah
right.
with the
Dang
H.
it even.
I've known her for about 6 months. She has a group of female friends I've known for even less time, maybe 1 or 2 months. We are all part of a sports group. The only females in the group are me, Sarah, and maybe one other girl. The rest of the group is made up of about 10 to 15 guys, including my boyfriend. This is kind of important. Now, Sarah has had an issue with one of the guys in the sports group. Let's call him Jeff. They hooked up, but Jeff had different intentions than she did, and it didn't end well.
Whoopee.
About 2 months ago, Sarah, her female friends, and I went out for a girls' day and dinner. The day went really well. It was fun, and we had agreed on a rule of only 1 hour of boy talk. Keep that in mind. When we got to dinner, Sarah said, "Oh my God, let's use our 1 hour of boy talk now." I figured it would be the usual, talk about hookups, exes, crushes, etc. But no. What it turned into was Sarah ranting about the Jeff situation. Fair enough, but we've already heard this like 20 million times. Then she said that any of the guys in our sports group who are still friends with Jeff or who consider themselves neutral and haven't fully taken her side are womanizers and hate women. She even went as far as saying they'd be better off unaliving themselves because they're men. And yes, she specifically said, including your boyfriend, to me during this rant.
Oh, no.
I thought this was an absolutely absurd thing to say, especially since Sarah actually holds a position on the sports group committee. All the other girls were hyping her up, saying things like, OMG, yes, all men suck, and we hate men. I didn't say anything about 30 to 45 minutes because I didn't want to ruin the vibe of the day, but I do regret not speaking up right away. You know, sometimes you feel like that, and that's like sticky situations. You're like, oh, I don't feel like I can say anything, and then you look back and you're like,
it goes too long, and then it's hard.
and then you can't bring it back, and then it's like, you just feel bad for not saying anything and speaking up.
Yeesh.
Anyway, okay, back to the story. Sarah is known for blurting out extreme opinions and often doesn't know where to draw the line between banter and belief. It's not the first time she said negative things about men, but this was by far the worst. I stepped outside during dinner and called my boyfriend to tell him what happened. He was understandably upset, as he had considered Sarah a friend. A few days later, at our sports committee meeting, Sarah and Jeff weren't there, so I told the rest of the group what Sarah had said. I felt they deserved to know, especially since many of them considered her a friend and she holds a big role in the committee. So here's where it gets more complicated. Another guy from our group, let's call him Chris, heard from a separate situation that Sarah had once again thrown these guys under the bus and specifically called him a womanizer. Not sure of the details, but that was the gist. Chris then confronted Sarah and used what I had shared at the meeting as part of his reasoning. Fair enough, I'm glad he backed himself up with evidence, and I'm not mad at him at all. At first, Sarah denied everything, saying I was being dramatic and had twisted her words. But then she went out of her way to apologize to several people in the group except my boyfriend. To this day, she still hasn't apologized to him. The only reason I even found out about all of this is because I was removed from the girls' group chat, and both my boyfriend and I were blocked by Sarah. She's now completely ignoring both of us, and even had one of her friends send me a string of less than lovely messages. My boyfriend reached out to some of the other guys, Chris and Jeff included, and they've either chosen to stay neutral, which is fair, or have said that they agree with my actions and think that I did the right thing. The general consensus is that Sarah overreacted and took things way too far. But am I the asshole for how I handled things?
Oof. It's a lot to unpack.
It's real complex.
I want to know what happened. Like, what did Jeff do?
I want to know that too. I don't know that it truly matters. My assumption is like one of them wanted more than a good time and the other one just wanted a good time. You know how sometimes maybe that can get
complicated.
Hairy.
Then you shouldn't sleep with somebody in a situation where maybe it could get complicated if there aren't clear expectations by both parties.
I mean, that's the ideal scenario,
I know.
but sometimes things happen, right?
It does happen.
And
but
maybe you're misinterpreting signals one way or the other.
Yeah.
But regardless, it happened.
It happened.
It
happened.
There's miscommunication. She's upset. She thinks that he's awful and everybody who sides with him is awful. And probably goes over.
And that's not totally fair.
Over the boundary, over the line, even saying they should,
Yeah, that's right. You don't joke about that.
No,
you really, really don't. And to throw then her her boyfriend under the bus when she knows that she's sitting right there, like I feel like
that's really kind of icky.
That's icky. And how do you expect her to respond to that?
Well, these are all their friends. If they like are on a sports club or team or whatever they called it together, like they clearly spend time together on a very regular basis.
But then for her to go back to the group when she's not there and be like, hey guys, she said this about you, just so you know. How do you think?
Well, and also if it was in confidence and it was with a girls' weekend or girls' group, she did kind of break girl code. She kind of did.
But was it justified?
I mean, I think it was okay for her to tell her boyfriend. Oof. I don't know.
And then leave it up
I
to
don't know.
bro code.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That's a tough
really a hard
situation.
one.
Because we don't really know what happened. I feel like if we knew more what happened, actually, then I'd feel like I could give a better opinion.
I agree. I think it's really complicated. And I mean, in some ways, she shouldn't have broken that confidence. But in other ways,
She also was telling this whole big, huge group, though, about it.
yeah.
You know, it's not like she told her one-on-one and was like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to somebody about this.
Yeah.
Let's have this conversation. Don't tell anybody. They were out for dinner with what sounds like a fairly large group of women talking
Yeah, it
about
didn't
it.
sound like something super confident.
And if she was really worried
Yeah.
about it getting back to other people, then she should have had that one-on-one conversation with the original
Yeah.
poster.
Yeah.
It sounds like she is probably having some issues that she needs to work through, you know, saying multiple times, you know, all men suck.
Mhm.
We hate
Mhm.
men.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not okay either. And I think that that's not what girl code is about,
Right.
right?
Yes,
Mm-mm.
agreed.
Girl code is about uplifting and loving each other and community. It's not about downplaying
Bashing
men or
Anybody
bashing
else.
men.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You know, like you definitely don't need to do that in order to maintain good, healthy, amazing, fabulous friendships with your, you know, female.
I think we've
friends.
all been there where we've been hurt by a guy and it's made us feel really much like, oh, men suck and I'm never going to be with a guy ever again. I mean, growing up, I know that I've had those moments, but I don't think I
More
ever
of
really
it's like
meant it. It would never say somebody
emotional
should like off
reaction?
themselves.
No.
Like, that's just awful.
Yeah, that was over the line. That was too
Yeah.
far.
Nope.
far.
Took it too far.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially, you know, and there's one thing about saying that, like, kind of in general as an emotional response, even though, yep, it's not okay.
Mhm.
That, and then turning and being like, well, these specific people, they're all awful.
Yeah, that's not good.
And they're your friends.
Because also, like, do you really, again, if it's the situation we think it is,
Mhm.
like, do you really expect these guys to be like, oh, yeah, he slept with you. That was wrong. He didn't want anything and you wanted more. Like, I don't think that's necessarily fair either.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if he had shitty behavior and that were the case, then I would expect the men to call his shitty behavior
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Right. But
That
if it was
would be a
just like
good
a difference
expectation.
of expectations
Exactly.
or
And
difference of
communication.
opinions, that's
Yeah.
where there's
That's why it's
maybe
like we
just
need to
don't
know
have
more.
enough
We need
We
information.
don't know more. Yeah.
info. Okay.
Yeah, more info needed.
Mhm.
So
What did people say? Because that was a hard one.
That is a hard one.
I feel like I had a harder time with that one. Because you do want to justify it both directions.
this
Agreed.
was written 24 days ago. And actually, there's not that many. It wasn't picked up by that many people.
Mm.
There were only 6 comments on
Oh.
here. The top
Maybe
comment.
because everybody had a hard time too.
Yeah, maybe. The top comment was simply not the asshole.
Oh.
Next, not the asshole. People like that aren't worth keeping in your
Hmm.
life. And if the other
Hmm.
girls are taking her side, they also aren't worth it.
Yeah.
Next, she's done you a favor. Who would want to be friends with this ridiculous drama queen who needs to grow up?
Well, they were much more cut and dry than we were.
Mhm.
I feel like we had a harder time, like,
Oh,
sussing
hold
that
on,
out.
though.
Oh,
hold on.
okay.
The last one. Okay. Second to last one, the 5th comment. Not the asshole. Sarah is very toxic. But then
Not
the
me,
last
Sarah. Different Sarah.
comment, who I feel like put a little bit of effort into this comment, says, I don't know, girl. I get that she said some horrible things, but she believed she was talking to her friends in confidentiality and was ranting about her previous hurt from a man in the group. Yes, it is extreme. But again, we say dumb, extreme shit we don't mean in front of our closer friends. What you should have done is defended your boyfriend when she was talking, not give her the safe space to pour her heart out, and then go to an entire group of people to let them know what she said as a generalization. It sounds like a very icky situation, and you involved yourself in a very icky manner. Telling your boyfriend is one thing. Telling the entire group, everyone is an asshole here.
I think that actually sums it up pretty darn well.
Really well.
Yep.
That's kind of all the things we said in a very less elegant way.
No, in a more elegant way.
She
In
said
a
it
more
more.
elegant.
Yes.
Yeah, we said it in a very less elegant way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All the things we
Gotcha.
said, but we said it in a very less elegant way.
Gotcha.
That was, I'm not
Yeah.
good with words. That was much better.
You
wordage.
did a great job. You did a great
Mm.
job.
That's good.
Well, cheers. Another cheers.
Yay, the ladies' night.
Yay.
Krista, you're empty.
Oh, you need a little more wine. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. You know,
Thanks for having us.
at the beginning, I was like, listen, I've had a day. I've had a week. You know, here we are. We're now doing this podcast thing. Poor Krista has been traveling up since like 4:30 in the morning. I was like, are you sure you want to come over? I know it's a late night when we do these things.
It's always good to see
Here
ya.
she is. I don't know.
Good to
They're
see
fun.
You
It
And
is.
at the end of it, I'm
Always
always
feel
so
better.
happy. No, you know, podcast or not, like whenever we hang out and we
Yes.
have our girl time and our girl chats, like it's always just so great.
It is so great.
It is.
I
We do
love you
have such a
both.
good time. I love you
Love
too.
you.
Love you
Yeah.
too.
Love you.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies. Hopefully we can do some more
Yes.
girls night only podcast because this was fun.
This
I
was
miss Matt
fun.
a little bit.
I know.
Matt's in the background somewhere.
I mean, he's still
There he
here,
is.
like chiming in every now and then.
We missed Matt, but
There
this
you
was
go.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
We're
Was
got to
fun.
do some more.
yeah. And
We should
as-
do like a crazy girls night. Like really crazy
This was
going.
not crazy enough.
No,
huh?
I feel like really like crazy go out stories. Like, yeah.
Okay, maybe you're in charge of finding those
Ooh!
stories one night.
I'll do it.
There you go.
Oh, can I read
Okay.
them then?
Sure.
I want to read them.
Why not?
I want to be like the podcaster Sarah reading the
Do
stories.
the thing.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to be Matt for
Yes.
a second. All right. Thanks for listening to Midwest Married. Please comment and like and subscribe.
Especially on YouTube.
Especially
And
on
do
YouTube.
All of those things.
And send us all of your ideas for other stories. Write in. We love the comments. We will talk about them on the podcast.
the nice ones about Sarah. I do little screenshots of.
does.
And then I send.
It
and I'm
makes
like,
my
hey,
day.
look at what this person said. I'll do that for you too. I do that for you too.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, look at how wonderful you are. Look at how
Yay.
many people love you.
Don't send us the mean ones.
Nobody's mean.
Yay,
the people
good.
that listen to our podcast are all
nice
amazing.
people.
That's
They're
right.
all good people.
Everybody is amazing.
Yeah, we're not big enough to have trolls.
Someday.
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 I'm kind of okay with that.
That's true.
It's okay. Anyway,
That's true.
we digress. Bye.
Bye.
And we appreciate you.
Oh yes.
Oh.